What if I told you that the way you store your vegetables could be silently draining their nutrients, and even putting your health at risk? Especially after 60, every bite you take matters, and small kitchen habits can have a big impact on your digestion, energy, and immune system. You've likely heard that vegetables are the cornerstone of a healthy senior diet, packed with fiber, antioxidants, and essential nutrients that keep your heart strong, your brain sharp, and your gut balanced. But here's what most people don't realize. Storing the wrong vegetables in the refrigerator can actually do more harm than good. That's right, certain vegetables lose their nutritional power, develop unwanted textures, or even create harmful compounds when exposed to cold temperatures. On the flip side, some vegetables must be kept cold to retain their safety and health benefits. In this video from Senior Boost, you'll discover the 4 vegetables you should never refrigerate, and the 4 you absolutely must, to preserve their freshness, protect your health, and get the most out of every meal. These storage tips are especially crucial for older adults whose immune defenses and digestive strength may no longer be what they once were. One simple mistake, like putting the wrong root vegetable in the fridge or leaving leafy greens out on the counter, can lead to digestive discomfort, nutrient loss, or even foodborne illness. But with a few easy changes, you can avoid those risks and feel more energized more often. Let's start with the most surprising vegetable seniors should never refrigerate, even though most people still do. 1. Potatoes, the starchy staple that can become toxic in the fridge. Beloved for their soft texture and comfort food appeal, potatoes are a dietary favorite for many older adults. But storing them in cold environments, like the refrigerator, triggers a harmful chemical shift. Cold temperatures turn the potatoes' natural starches into simple sugars. And when those sugars are cooked, especially at high heat, they interact with amino acids to form a compound called acrylamide. This compound has been linked to inflammation, nerve damage, and even increased cancer risk, particularly troubling for seniors managing conditions like arthritis, diabetes, or kidney disease. Simply put, that creamy mash or crispy roast might be doing more harm than good if your potatoes came from the fridge. Besides the health risks, refrigerating potatoes also ruins their texture, turning them grainy, overly sweet, and unpleasant to eat. Take Geraldine Jerry Rusk, a 78-year-old retired principal from Illinois. She thought keeping her potatoes cold would preserve them. But after months of strange-tasting meals and persistent indigestion, a quick tip from her granddaughter studying nutrition changed everything. Jerry moved her potatoes to a cool, dry cabinet, and her stomach issues disappeared within a week. So what's the right way to store potatoes? Keep them in a dark, well-ventilated space like a pantry or root cellar. Avoid plastic bags that trap moisture. Instead, go for a paper bag or basket. The ideal temperature? Between 45 degrees Fahrenheit and 55 degrees Fahrenheit, cool, but never cold enough to trigger that sugar conversion. In short, properly stored potatoes are a fantastic, senior-friendly food, but putting them in the fridge can silently compromise your health. For safer digestion, better flavor, and reduced inflammation, skip the fridge and give your potatoes a dry, dark home. Up next, another common root vegetable that loses both flavor and nutrition when it's kept cold, and you've probably been refrigerating it your whole life. 2. Onions, the flavorful essential that goes bad faster in the fridge. Onions are a staple in nearly every kitchen. They're flavorful, versatile, and packed with health-supporting antioxidants like quercetin. From heart health to immune support, onions offer powerful benefits, especially for seniors aiming to maintain vitality through diet. But here's a critical mistake many people make: putting whole onions in the refrigerator. For older adults, refrigerating onions isn't just unnecessary, it can actually backfire. It speeds up spoilage, alters their nutritional profile, and even makes them harder to digest. Here's why. The cold, damp environment inside the fridge causes onions to soften and become moist. That accelerates the growth of mold and bacteria, particularly in the outer layers. And once that mold appears, it doesn't stay on the surface. It can spread deep into the onion's layers, making it unsafe to eat. This can be especially dangerous for seniors with sensitive digestion or weakened immune systems. Refrigeration also disrupts the onion's chemistry. Moisture causes the starches in onions to convert into sugars faster, leading to a soggy texture, sour taste, and a much shorter shelf life. These changes don't just affect flavor. They can trigger bloating or indigestion in older adults, particularly when onions are eaten raw. Take Vince Ellsworth, an 82-year-old retired train conductor from Montana. Vince had always tossed his onions in the fridge, assuming it kept them fresh. But he started noticing that they were turning slimy, smelling off, and making his stomach uncomfortable after meals. After attending a local seminar on senior nutrition, Vince switched to storing his onions in a basket in a cool, dry cupboard. The result? Better flavor, longer shelf life, and no more post-meal indigestion. So, how should onions be stored correctly? Keep whole, unpeeled onions in a dark, dry, and well-ventilated space, such as a basket in your pantry or cupboard. Avoid plastic bags that trap moisture. Instead, go with mesh bags or open containers that allow airflow. Once an onion is cut, you can refrigerate the leftovers. Just wrap them tightly and use within a few days. In short, refrigerating whole onions does more harm than good. For longer-lasting freshness, better taste, and gentler digestion, keep your onions out of the fridge, and your meals will thank you. Next up, we'll dive into a common kitchen staple that turns bland, mushy, and even harmful when chilled, and it might be sitting in your fridge right now. 3. Tomatoes, the nutritious powerhouse that loses its value in the fridge. Tomatoes are a kitchen classic, bright, juicy, and bursting with nutrients. Whether tossed into a salad, sliced onto sandwiches, or simmered into a stew, they're a go-to favorite for many seniors. Packed with lycopene, vitamin C, and potassium, tomatoes are champions for heart health, skin vitality, and immune strength. But storing them the wrong way, that's where the trouble begins. Despite what many believe, refrigerating whole tomatoes actually reduces their nutritional impact and taste. Cold temperatures interrupt their natural ripening process and damage their delicate internal structure. The result? A gritty, mealy texture and watered-down flavor that's nothing like the fresh, vibrant tomato you were expecting. For older adults who prefer soft, easily digestible foods, this texture change can make tomatoes less enjoyable and harder to include in meals. Worse, refrigeration may reduce lycopene, the very antioxidant that gives tomatoes their red hue and heart protective power. That means less support for inflammation control and cholesterol reduction, key areas for aging bodies. Take Agatha "Aggie" Bellamy, an 85-year-old retired botanist from Georgia. Aggie adored her tomato sandwiches, but something changed. Her tomatoes began tasting bland and oddly textured. Her daughter, visiting one weekend, discovered the issue: the fridge. Aggie had been storing them cold for years, unaware it was robbing her meals of flavor and nutrition. Once she switched to storing them in a fruit bowl on the counter, the difference was instant. Better taste, better digestion, and more enjoyment. So, what's the best way to store your tomatoes? Keep whole, uncut tomatoes at room temperature, away from direct sunlight. A shaded counter or cool pantry is ideal. If a tomato becomes overripe and you can't use it immediately, then it's fine to refrigerate it to prevent spoilage. Once sliced, tomatoes should be refrigerated and eaten within 1 to 2 days for optimal freshness and safety. In short, tossing your tomatoes in the fridge may seem convenient, but it sacrifices their flavor, texture, and health value, especially for seniors. Let your tomatoes ripen naturally at room temperature, and you'll enjoy better taste, improved digestion, and more of the benefits that make this fruit so special. Next, we'll cover a spicy kitchen favorite that many seniors refrigerate out of habit, but doing so can shorten its shelf life and dull its unique flavor. For garlic, the ancient remedy that weakens in the fridge. Garlic isn't just for flavor. It's one of nature's oldest and most effective medicinal foods. For seniors, its benefits are even more powerful, supporting immunity, lowering blood pressure, and promoting heart health. At the heart of garlic's healing power is allicin, a compound known for its antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties. But here's the problem. Storing garlic in the refrigerator is one of the quickest ways to strip it of its strength. Cold, humid environments like the fridge create the perfect conditions for mold, sprouting, and rapid spoilage. Instead of extending garlic's shelf life, refrigeration actually shortens it, reduces its medicinal potency, and alters its taste. Once garlic begins to sprout, the flavor turns bitter, the texture becomes rubbery, and its stomach-soothing benefits are compromised, particularly risky for older adults with digestive sensitivity or reduced immune response. Moisture in the fridge also causes garlic's papery skin to loosen and peel away prematurely, exposing the cloves to air and speeding up decay. Instead of lasting for weeks or even months in the pantry, refrigerated garlic can go bad in just days. Take Wendell Duke Hathaway, an 84-year-old retired jazz pianist from Asheville, North Carolina. For years, he stored his garlic in the fridge, believing it would stay fresh. But his meals started tasting harsh, and he experienced more bloating after dinner. During a visit to a local wellness center, a nutritionist pointed out the issue. Garlic isn't meant for cold storage. Duke switched to keeping his bulbs in a mesh basket in the pantry, and just like that, the rich flavor returned, and his digestion improved. So, what's the best way for seniors to store garlic? Keep whole, unpeeled garlic bulbs in a dry, dark, and well-ventilated space. A hanging basket, mesh bag, or ceramic garlic pot works perfectly. Avoid sealed plastic bags or containers that trap moisture. Once peeled or chopped, garlic should be used right away or stored briefly in the fridge, no longer than a day or two, in a tightly sealed glass container to prevent odor spread. In short, refrigerating garlic isn't just unnecessary. It actually harms its flavor, shortens its shelf life, and diminishes the powerful health benefits that seniors need most. For better meals and better health, give garlic the cool, dry space it deserves. Up next, we'll dive into the vegetables that should be kept cold, starting with one that turns dangerous quickly if left on the counter too long. 1. Leafy greens. Nutrient-dense and fragile. Keep them cold or risk your health. If you're serious about protecting your heart, supporting brain function, and improving digestion, few vegetables deliver more power per bite than leafy greens. Spinach, kale, romaine, arugula, Swiss chard, they're all packed with essential nutrients like vitamins A, C, and K, magnesium, folate, and a host of antioxidants that protect aging cells. But here's the catch. These delicate superfoods demand refrigeration. Why? Because leafy greens spoil fast. Their high water content and fragile structure make them a magnet for bacteria like E. coli and listeria if left unrefrigerated, two pathogens that can be particularly dangerous for seniors with weakened immune systems. And that's not all. When left on the counter, leafy greens wilt quickly, turning slimy and losing their bright flavor. Even worse, key nutrients like vitamin C begin to degrade rapidly when exposed to heat and light. Proper refrigeration doesn't just extend shelf life. It helps preserve the full nutritional power of these greens. Take Henrietta Hetty Bloom, an 86-year-old retired poetry professor from Eugene, Oregon. Hetty loved fresh salads and bought her greens weekly from a local farmer's market. But she often left them out on the counter, assuming they'd stay fresh like her root vegetables. One afternoon, after eating a spinach salad that had been left out overnight, she suffered severe stomach cramps and nausea, enough to land her in urgent care. After a conversation with her doctor, Hetty changed her routine. Now, she stores her greens properly in the crisper drawer and says they not only last longer but taste better, too. So, how should seniors store leafy greens for maximum freshness and safety? Keep them in their original packaging or a loosely sealed container inside your refrigerator's vegetable drawer. To prevent sogginess, line the container with a paper towel to absorb excess moisture. Don't wash them until just before you eat. Moisture speeds up spoilage. And if you buy in bulk, divide your greens into smaller portions to minimize handling and limit air exposure. Bottom line, leafy greens are a nutrition goldmine, but only if they're stored correctly. Refrigeration keeps their texture crisp, their nutrients intact, and their bacteria at bay, making them a must-have for a safe, healthy diet as you age. Up next, a crisp, refreshing root vegetable that can turn soggy and contaminated when left out, but stays clean and crunchy when kept cold. 2. Carrots. A vision-protecting super snack that stays powerful only in the fridge. Carrots are a senior favorite, and it's no mystery why. They're naturally sweet, wonderfully crunchy when raw, tender when cooked, and loaded with beta-carotene, the antioxidant that your body converts into vitamin A. This vital nutrient supports everything from sharper eyesight to stronger immunity and radiant skin. But if you want to preserve all that goodness, here's the key. Carrots must be kept cold. That's why carrots earn their spot on the list of vegetables seniors must refrigerate. Unlike hardy root vegetables like potatoes or onions, carrots are delicate. Leave them at room temperature for too long, and they begin to wilt, turn rubbery, or even grow mold, especially in warmer or more humid kitchens. And if you're someone who enjoys prepping carrots in advance as a quick, fiber-rich snack, this kind of spoilage can mean tossing out one of nature's best convenience foods. More importantly, refrigeration slows the breakdown of beta-carotene, the powerhouse nutrient that gives carrots their iconic orange hue and vision-supporting strength. For older adults facing age-related eye conditions like macular degeneration or cataracts, maintaining high levels of vitamin A is crucial to keeping the retinas healthy and improving night vision. Let's take the story of Noreen Nora Winscott, an 80-year-old retired antique dealer from Lincoln, Nebraska. Nora loved slicing up carrots and celery every Sunday to make healthy snacks for the week. But she used to leave them on the counter in a bowl for easy access, only to find them wilted or speckled with white spots by midweek. At her daughter's suggestion, she switched to storing the sliced carrots in a container of cold water in the refrigerator. Since making that change, her carrots have stayed crisp for over a week, and she snacks with peace of mind knowing they're still safe and nutritious. So, what's the best way to store carrots? Place whole, unpeeled carrots in the crisper drawer of your fridge. If your carrots still have leafy tops, trim them off before storing. Those leaves pull moisture from the root and speed up spoilage. If you like to prep ahead, store peeled or sliced carrots in a sealed container with cold water, changing the water every 2 to 3 days to maintain their crunch and quality. In short, carrots are a vision-friendly, fiber-filled veggie that should always live in your refrigerator. Keeping them cold not only extends their shelf life, it helps protect the exact nutrients your eyes and immune system rely on as you age. Coming up next, a vegetable that's nearly 95% water and turns into a breeding ground for bacteria if left out, but stays clean, crisp, and refreshing in the refrigerator. 3. Cucumbers. A hydrating, gut-friendly vegetable that spoils fast without the fridge. Don't let their simplicity fool you. Cucumbers are one of the most underrated health allies for seniors. With over 95% water content, cucumbers help older adults stay hydrated, combat bloating, and maintain smooth digestion, especially in warmer weather. But here's the catch. If you're not storing them in the fridge, you're losing all those benefits fast. That's why cucumbers earn their place on the list of vegetables seniors must refrigerate. Due to their high moisture content and delicate skin, cucumbers spoil rapidly at room temperature. Leave them on the counter for more than a day or two, and you'll notice the telltale signs: soft spots, yellowing, and a mushy texture, especially around the ends. These changes don't just ruin the crunch. They also invite mold and harmful bacteria, which pose a greater risk to seniors with sensitive digestion or weaker immunity. Beyond that, cucumbers are rich in electrolytes and B vitamins, which are vulnerable to heat. Refrigeration helps preserve these nutrients, along with silica, a trace mineral that supports joint health and skin elasticity, both essential for aging gracefully. Let's look at the case of Marshall Marty Poehler, an 81-year-old retired school bus driver from Flagstaff, Arizona. Marty used to store his cucumbers in a fruit bowl on the counter. But after dealing with a few slimy slices and even a mild bout of food poisoning, his daughter convinced him to store them in the fridge right away after shopping. Now he keeps them in the vegetable drawer and says they taste fresher, last longer, and are perfect in his favorite cucumber mint water every afternoon. So how should seniors store cucumbers the right way? Keep whole, unwrapped cucumbers in the crisper drawer of your fridge. If you've already sliced them, place the pieces in an airtight glass container lined with a paper towel to absorb extra moisture. This helps them stay fresh and crisp for 5 to 7 days. Avoid wrapping whole cucumbers in plastic, which can trap moisture and speed up spoilage. In summary, cucumbers are a refreshing, gut-soothing, and nutrient-rich vegetable that belongs in your fridge. For seniors prioritizing hydration, digestion, and skin health, keeping cucumbers cold ensures every bite delivers clean, safe nourishment. Coming up next, a fragile green veggie that spoils quickly at room temperature, but when kept cold, becomes a powerful ally for strong bones and lasting immunity. For bell peppers, a vitamin-packed powerhouse that needs the chill to stay fresh and potent. Bright, crunchy, and bursting with nutrition, bell peppers are more than just a colorful garnish. They're a nutritional goldmine, especially for older adults. Packed with vitamin C, vitamin A, potassium, and powerful antioxidants, bell peppers help boost immunity, support collagen production, and reinforce bone health. But to hold on to all those benefits, they need to stay cold. That's why bell peppers earn their place as a vegetable seniors must keep refrigerated. At room temperature, peppers rapidly lose moisture. The result? They turn soft, wrinkled, and less flavorful. More importantly, vitamin C, one of their biggest benefits, breaks down quickly when exposed to heat and light. For seniors focusing on immune strength or wound healing, this kind of nutrient loss can quietly undo the value of an otherwise healthy meal. By storing peppers in the fridge, you preserve their crunch, vibrancy, and nutrient density. Red, yellow, green, or orange, all varieties offer flavonoids and carotenoids that help fight cellular damage, reduce inflammation, and lower chronic disease risk. Consider Florence Flo Parnell, a 77-year-old retired seamstress from Mobile, Alabama. Flo loved the convenience of bell pepper strips with lunch but noticed they'd often turn rubbery and tasteless. After speaking with her dietitian, she learned that peppers lose their vitamin potency when stored out in the open, especially in humid southern heat. Since switching to breathable bags in the fridge, she's noticed fresher flavor and even reduced joint stiffness after meals. So how should you store peppers for maximum health? Keep whole, unwashed bell peppers in the crisper drawer. Once cut, store them in airtight containers and use within 3 to 5 days. If moisture builds up, dry them with a paper towel to prevent spoilage. In short, bell peppers are an immune-supporting superfood for seniors, but only if they're kept cold. Store them smart, and every bite will deliver the flavor and nutrients your body truly needs. Final thoughts. Small habits, big health. As we get older, every detail matters, especially in the kitchen. Something as simple as knowing where to store your vegetables can make the difference between a meal that heals and a habit that harms. Today, we explored 2 key lists. Vegetables seniors should never refrigerate, like potatoes, onions, tomatoes, and garlic, because cold storage breaks down their nutrients and may even pose health risks. And vegetables that must be refrigerated, like leafy greens, carrots, cucumbers, and bell peppers, because their delicate structure and high water content make them highly perishable and nutrient-sensitive. Storing vegetables correctly isn't just about taste. It's about protecting your health, supporting digestion, preserving immunity, and aging with strength. At Senior Boost, we believe that smart choices start at home, and it's often your pantry or fridge that shapes your well-being more than you realize. So here's a question worth asking. Are your tomatoes soft and flavorless from the fridge? Are your leafy greens losing vitamin C on the counter? Take a fresh look today. If this video helped you rethink your food storage, drop a comment and tell us which habit you'll change first. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more science-backed health guidance made just for you. Because aging smart doesn't require more effort. It just takes the right information, one small step at a time.